Hi, everyone. Hi. Yeah, what's shaking? Just some guy says, wow, that was quick. Well, I mean, let's get this done. Hello. Aloha. Yeah, I just watched the a diversity in comics video, and I've never laughed so hard in my life. I'm sorry, that was really funny. Huh. I don't know if you guys watched it, but it was amusing. And I'm not funny at all. I mean, this is the thing. Rodwell says, how did your shark turn out? No, Rodwell, I got a lot of clapback about wanting to do a shark. And no, not Kim and Kim, the one about Kwanzaa. Yeah. I saw all those posts and I rolled my eyes on Twitter. And then, come on, guys. But anyway, I was going to turn the car into a shark, and they said, no, we want Joker. So I had to turn the back of my car into the Joker, and I'm going to do that tomorrow. I got the equipment that I need. I'm going to spend a little bit of the morning in the backyard with an airbrush. And I'm going to make a gigantic Joker head that will feed children candy. I think that's a good thing. Well, it looks like we have enough people here to start. I mean, we can get moving. Now, listen, I am not. Wait, you guys are still talking. Cover is awesome. I loved your new X-Men cover that they used to model those statues. Thank you. Yeah, I'll show you. She's saying that she wants to film me making the Joker and put it up on YouTube. That might be something to do. We might edit together a nice video. All right, so here we go. This is the last part of Marvel, of my time at Marvel, and it was time to go after this. So I just finished New X-Men 123. I actually was yanked off of it before it was finished. I felt like I could have finished it, but there was just no time. And so another artist did the fill-in pages, did like the missing 4 pages. And in the meantime, something crazy happened. And that is that the editors who lied to me were fired. They were fired, and I don't know why. At this point, people were talking about the sex issue. It was getting around. There were a few articles written about it. One great one on something called UncannyXmen.net, which is just wonderful. It's just wonderful. That guy was fired, and so was the assistant editor. And we had a new editor. His name was Mike Martz, and Mike Martz has always been a guy who's been kind of amused by me, so he was happy to keep me around. He brought some friends aboard to the X-Men office. He was friends with Dan Fraga, who I'm also friends with, and he was friends with this guy named Matt Nixon. Now, Matt Nixon was an untested writer. I don't know, did he come from TV? I don't know where he came from, but he started writing Wolverine. He wrote that Wild Child book that I did, and they asked me to illustrate that, and I said okay. And then after that, Matt Nixon was writing this Wolverine arc for Dan Fraga, and in his Wolverine arc, he was writing something. It was very strange. There was an idea that he was pursuing based on conspiracy theories that he'd been reading about, that the Catholic Church was sending ELF waves over to New York City to forcibly turn everybody Catholic. And Wolverine was going to go over there and he was going to take care of business at the Vatican. It was the weirdest comic I've ever read in my life. It's Wolverine, 2 parts, Wolverine 177 and 178. And I swear to God, it is the strangest comic I ever read. They asked me to go ahead and do the next issue of Wolverine, and I wanted to draw Wolverine. I thought it would be kind of cool. Sean Chen had this book normally, I think, and yeah, and so here's Matt Nixon. So Nixon, Van Sciver, inked by Larry Stucker, another Extreme inker, guy from Extreme Studios. And I don't know where he is now. I don't know if he's still working, but he was my inker. I was just only going to pencil this. And here we go. Let's crack open this book. So this came after Wild Child, and in between this, I think this came before New X-Men 133, which was my last work at Marvel. So yeah, right away we get some flies, and we get to draw Shaman from Alpha Flight. I like Alpha Flight. I was excited about doing these characters. I was excited about drawing a Native American taking a lizard, dipping that lizard's face in paint, hot paint, and then drawing on your face with a lizard mouth. It just seemed like a cool thing to do. And then here's Wolverine. Now, Dan Fraga had decided to draw Wolverine in his issues with the sideburns connecting into a mustache and going all the way around. And I had to kind of follow that, all right, a little bit. So Wolverine's sideburns are off here. But a lizard comes over to him, and the lizard's mouth is sewn shut. And Wolverine pops his claw, and he carefully snips the lizard's mouth open. And the lizard says, "Logan, I have urgent need of you." And he recognizes the lizard's voice is Shaman from Alpha Flight. He says, "Mike, Shaman, is that you?" No, it's not him, it's a lizard. Oh boy, so Shaman is sitting Indian style in midair, and he is overlooking the world here, which is covered in bones and guts and intestines. It's basically been defiled by something, some creature, and Wolverine kind of throws a rock at it. My Wolverine here is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. They go down the hill together towards this entrance, and Shaman is going to let them in. Why? Why are we going in? Because Snowbird is within these walls. So they open a little door. Here's something that I kind of reused, this kind of effect from Flash Rebirth. Kind of stretched out as we travel through dimensions. And Shaman fights a whole lot of flies. Bad boys looking for a reckoning with the darkness. That can be arranged. Snicked. This doesn't impress Shaman, so he puts his claws back away. Shaman's gonna face this monster on an astral plane. I don't remember any of this. I do remember this. I remember Wolverine going and fighting some bugs, some giant bugs. This panel took a long time. This bug has a nice skull on him. Here's a nice scorpion and a spider, and Wolverine's ready to fight. He's ready to play. Make short work of him. Yeah, short work. And then all of a sudden, you gotta watch out for this kind of attack from behind. Here comes Sasquatch to crush Wolverine's head. And I mean, it's, you can talk sense. Hey, Walt, you can talk sense into Sasquatch, I guess. And maybe you can get him to come back to life. What you can't handle is a midget punching you in the balls. Now, here's the thing about that. I really think that Wolverine's not protected there. I think that he doesn't wear armor there. I'm pretty sure he doesn't wear a cup. He demonstrates that by crouching over and kind of saying, "Ow, my balls." And we talk to Puck and try to get Puck with us again. Oh my god, this is a weird book. Alright, so here's a monster raping Snowbird, I guess. I don't know what's going on here. This is Snowbird, and she's become an enormous larva. I don't know what this is, and he's on top of her. And Wolverine can't believe what he's saying, what he's seeing. And so they do a fastball special. I drew it real small. And boom. He slices the dude's throat real small. And he says, Snowbird. In this, Wolverine always says their real names. He says code name and then real name. So he's like, Snowbird, Narya, it's me, Logan, Wolverine. I'm here, darling. Come on, Puck, this is serious. And then you cut the dude right in the... I don't know, what the fuck? Sorry, excuse my language. I don't know. Who cares? Edwin, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. He does have a Saturday Night Fever Bee Gees look about him. Here's a nice double-page spread of action. We're fighting that big fat larva. This is Harvey Weinstein. We're going to town on him. I like Puck doing a backflip here. Big, huge shot of Sasquatch, who I do love. Wolverine going to business. I don't think this took very long. I really don't think this book took very long to draw. Here's Snowbird. They ended up using this in some kind of Marvel encyclopedia. Her eyes are closed. That annoys me. I don't know why I didn't open her eyes. And here comes this dude who is named Chuck. And we're supposed to be like, oh no, not Chuck. Yeah, here's Chuck. So, to be continued. Sorry for that. Look, you know, you do books sometimes just to sort of, I don't know, help them out. They needed to ship this. It seemed like it was going to be fun. Some of it was fun, but overall, looking at it again, it makes me feel a little queasy. So finally, it was time for me to come back to New X-Men and work for Mike Martz on this new X-Men book. Okay, so this is book number 6 that I've drawn for Marvel under my 2-year contract. Yeah, I by the way, I could have done this. I know it's good. Frank Whitley's awesome, but like he got cover rate for this. I could have used the money. All right, here we go. So this was soon to very close after 9/11, and at the time we were not ashamed or afraid to actually. This wasn't. I mean, now this is politically incorrect, but back then, screw it, we're doing it. What does this remind you of? This looks like a trail of a gun that was going to happen later. As you can see, this is a Van Sciver model gun. There's Ratman's name right there. Norm Ratman is inking this. And here's Wolverine torn up to pieces, and he says, Grant Morrison is super cool. He has killed a ton of Al-Qaeda. Ton of them. Look at them. Just ripped them to pieces. They all have their guns. All of these faces are based on wanted terrorists. I took from a magazine. I was just like, who are the top most wanted terrorists of 2002? And I drew them dead in the snow. And Wolverine can't get him to listen to reason. And here's this one guy who's sitting there pointing a gun at him still. You know, he says, you can't kill me. And, you know, if you shoot me one more time, you're going to lose the hand. So the guy kind of drops the gun. Wolverine turns his back, snorts that air, you know, that cold air out of his nose like an animal. Again, these are all effects that I reuse in Green Lantern. And tell those reinforcements you called to turn back. I'm feeling mean. This dude's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm picking my gun right back up again. And, you know, I did a good job. I worked really hard on this issue. I drew all the dead bodies in the snow. Good detail. Good storytelling. And then this idiot fires his gun, and there goes the round right through Wolverine. Like actually just grazes his cheek. And Wolverine's like, what? Are you kidding me? zip at super speed. There goes his hand. There goes his hand. Just whoosh. And here we go. This is one of my favorite Wolverine panels that I've ever drawn, I think. What were you thinking, bub? And this guy's now in shock, having lost his hand. Wolverine retracts his claws and turns around again. Quit while you can still hold hands with your forces, sweetheart. Yeah. And we're on top of the base. Here's Wolverine just inhaling, sniffing. Yeah. Good. I mean, this is good Wolverine stuff. This isn't bad. I mean, this is bad. This is good, I have to say. He's cut through the fence. He's going inside. And here's where we meet Fantomex. Fantomex was designed by Igor Corday. I think I was supposed to design him. I wouldn't have known what Grant was talking about because Grant was making reference to a European kind of James Bond hero from the movies, whose name escapes me right now, but looks exactly like this. And the thing about him is that really, oh, thank you, Richard. That's a dope Wolverine. The thing about him is that, you know, he actually looks exactly like that character. Yeah, Storm Shadow. Well, he looks a little like Storm Shadow, but there you go. Danger Diabolique. That's Diabolique. Big popular franchise in Europe. We don't really know him too well in America, except for Paul Dozier says Comic Artist Pro Secrets. X-Men were still like this. I would still be buying the books again. Well, we all would. I mean, this is Grant Morrison. It's a rare occurrence that we get something like this. Yeah, Wolverine walks in. I like his ripped black tank top, his sleeves torn to shreds. He's short and he's stubby. He's thick across the shoulders. He is fun to draw. I don't draw him very often. And here he is. And his eyes are always wide, like he's like, I ain't afraid of you. I mean, here's Wolverine, very Bolland-y kind of Wolverine panel. He's not afraid, and he's got a book with the names and addresses of mutant slave traders. Wolverine would like that book. He's not keeping it. He's not giving it away. Yeah. And then with a flashbang, he disappears and says, hey, there are people coming after you. Wolverine's like, great, bring them on. These idiots. Right here. Now we're on an airplane, Air India. Yeah. So who's on the plane? Well, who's on the plane? I mean, so quickly after 9/11, again, Grant Morrison has balls. Our terrorists are clearly from the Middle East. They're not, you know, we didn't chicken out. I think we depicted the way most terrorists look, and I was glad that Grant was brave enough to ask for that. A lot of people weren't. And Professor X is just sitting in first class, of course. He's not sitting in coach. He's in first class, so these guys go past him, and some of the passengers are terrified, but he just looks at them and says, excuse me, those are wax guns, aren't they? And here's Jean, beautiful, calm. I mean, just, again, in case you watched the last one, I've fallen in love with this fictional character at this point, and I'm just like, every chance I get, I'm going to show off Jean Grey. She just continues to read. I'll kill her. I'll kill her first, and then I'll kill you. No, you won't. Shut up. You speak Pakistani. What should we do instead? See, this is the thing. Psychics can make people change their minds. These two characters are capable of taking a person and making them do or believe or become something that they weren't previously inclined to be. So Professor X is reprogramming this terrorist. Jean Grey could have done that too, but she's busy. She's reading. Well, wouldn't it be better for everyone if you would all just turn around and walk back to your seats, and you could stay there until we land at Mumbai? Yeah. And disarming the bomb in your bowel might be a very good idea too, Mohammed. Jean can probably do that for you. She's telekinetic. And Jean's like, ew. He's like, I've just been reading about these so-called dirty bombs, Jean. Nice little, poop joke from Grant Morrison. And the terrorists sit down and buckle in. The world seems to get more dangerous every day, and here he is, reading a magazine about himself, which I referenced from a real French magazine. Oh, wow, thank you, Star All Kung Fu. That's very nice. Ethan, what's your thoughts on Jean Grey and the whole making Iceman gay? Oh, I thought it was always thought it was a funny theory. It is a funny theory. Sure, why not? Could have happened. You know? I mean, anyone who takes over the comics after the current writers, the current editors leave, could easily have made that the case. Although what you'd be doing if you did make that clear is you would be making Jean Grey into either an incompetent psychic telepath or an evil one. Someone who engages in mischief that hurts her friends. So, no, she's not a bitch. She's Jean Grey. She's the most sweet, wonderful woman in the Marvel Universe. So you can't really do that. Like, so I'm afraid Bobby is gay, and he's always been, and Jean Grey didn't do anything about that. Because, again, that would make Jean Grey a bad person. We know that Jean Grey is not a bad person, so 2 + 2 is 4. Isn't this interesting? Here's the guy who is in that I drew in New X-Men 118. Here he is in a full-page ad in my last issue of X-Men, as if to mock me. You're about to get fired, pal. That's what he's saying to me right now. Enjoy this. You're about to get fired. Okay, thanks. We'll see. Air India, here's Mumbai Airport. It used to be really difficult to get reference for things, and it was important to me that Mumbai Airport was drawn accurately. This was before Google Images and everything, so yeah, that was really, really tough, but I did get it right. And here is Professor X about to hand over the terrorists who have been converted, changed their lives for the better. Turn him over to the Indian police who look at him. The Indian police are like, we don't care what you say. We're going to beat the living crap out of you. I love that. Jean just walking down, looking beautiful. Just as I assured them, they will not be brutalized in your custody. Now, Professor X is showing what a hero he is. He's a hero. He's actually messing with their minds too and saying, you will not hurt these men. Very DC Comics. Very DC Comics. And it's Grant Morrison. I mean, it's like he took the time to make Professor X behave heroically in that situation in a very Christ-like way. Like, he's just like, look, these are bad guys. They were going to kill us all. Still, they're going to get proper justice in your country, and you will not hurt them. And here we go. All of a sudden, these characters show up out of nowhere. Hey, dude. These are Rob Liefeld characters from X-Force. And I think Grant wanted me to overhaul them and make them look more like, give them costumes that were similar to what the new X-Men were wearing, and I didn't want to. Look at this alien target scope here, this viewfinder. Look at that. We have someone firing a gun from beneath some kind of strange burqa, and the bullet zips right past Jean Grey, and she sees it, stops it with a little phoenix claw. This is how much I love Jean. Right there. I mean, Grant didn't ask for any of this. She's not supposed to be wearing this shirt. I put that on her. And then stopping the bullet with a phoenix talon. Yeah. You know? I mean, it's like, I'm just like, oh my God, just let me have this character. Yeah, right. I mean, there it is. And so they know that they're under attack, and here comes X-Force. And I did a little bit of modification, but I wanted to draw Rob Liefeld's characters. Okay? So here's Jean right now examining the bullet. Her face is all lit up. Look at the feminine hands. You know, she's absolutely beautiful and feminine and perfect in every way. And then I said, hell with it. I'm going full Rob Liefeld. Look at the poses that they're in. That is like, I mean, it's me, but that's X-Force. That's 1990s they're yellow. They're yelling. They're screaming like ah, and they're jumping towards the camera. If you love Rob Liefeld, that was me loving you right back, and him crashing through all of them here. And I think that's Farrell, and who's this guy's name? Okay, this is Thorne. I don't remember the Native Americans. Thunderbird? It's a Thunderbird. Yeah. And look who it is. It's Lilandra. Yeah, she's the one trying to assassinate Professor X for some reason. As an airplane comes in, they're still on the tarmac. And again, here's a chance to draw Thunderbird. I mean, to really Warpath. Thank you. Okay, so Warpath. Getting to draw these Liefeld characters that I read when I was a kid, and I just wanted to do them justice. I wanted to again, more background from Mumbai Airport. I made sure everything was accurate. And we go to Wolverine, who's sleepy, and he's snoring. I mean, this is, let him nap. They're inside the X-Corps Mumbai headquarters, which is where they're stationed. These X-Men are stationed there, which is cool. And here's what it looks like. Here's Jean Grey. She's absolutely gorgeous as usual. They don't use their Cerebro very much, so she's blowing dust off of it for Jean to use. I've got Thorne on all fours, walking like an animal. That's cool. And there's this nice butterfly effect in Cerebro as Jean grabs the helmet and prepares to put it on. Yeah, let's put on Cerebra. It's called Cerebra. Okay. And they're scanning. There's another mutant in here. I think that's what it was. There's another mutant. And they can't see the mutant. They don't know who it is. Please don't bother Wolverine. He's sleeping. Oh my God, Sunfire. Oh, okay, so Sunfire appeared in the Wild Child special that I did, so I already had some affection for him. I just found him to be kind of an elegant little Bruce Lee type. Thank you, Edwin. Anyone starting to suspect EVA has a private stash of Jean Grey that he has drawn in a more erotic mode? Oh, how dare you. Of course not. Jean's figured out who the mutant is. Look at her little smile. I should, though. I should do some erotic Jean Grey stuff. And she's coming out of Cerebra. And here we have Dust against the wall. Now, people talk about diversity in comics and about how there need to be more representation of women and people from different parts of the world and religions. And I'll tell you one thing, I have created some extremely powerful female characters in my time. If you look at my resume, okay, if you were to look at just what I've done in comics, you will note that just the number of females that I've created and added to comics. There's Crib from the Sinestro Corps. There's Carousel from the Sinestro Corps. A good one is, here we have Latina female in the Green Lanterns with Jessica Cruz. And I've created Snowbird as a gigantic worm. That's another female character that I kind of created. And Jean is talking to the dust on the floor. And here we go. Here's a big one. This is Dust. And she is, I think, the first Muslim X-Men. How many characters do you think you created? Hundreds, and they're all beloved. You can see her taking form here. I like to do things with skeletons, so her body's come together made of dust. The beautiful, beautiful X-Men are anticipating her taking human form. Again, Jean Grey. Oh, she's just amazing. Wolverine sleeping through it, not impressed. And she's saying Turab, and he's saying it means dust. That's all she ever says. Now, please, everyone, shut up. I'm trying to sleep. Yeah, just trying to sleep. This is an interesting use of stat here. If you look at what I did, we talk about statted panels, which is just repeated artwork. So Dust, you can see her eye there as she turns to look at Wolverine, who's talking. He's got his eye open. Okay, so the second panel is a repeat, but what we've done is I've just turned her head, blacked out her eyes, so she's turned around to look back at the X-Men, and then blacked out Wolverine's eye as he closes it to go to sleep. Isn't that great? And oh my God, are you guys in love with her yet? Seriously, I mean, look at her. She's wonderful. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Yeah, I love Jean. I loved her, and I would have done so much more with her if I had a chance. Here we go. Here comes again. Here comes the Shiar to meet with Xavier after they've tried to assassinate him. And I guess here's, Xavier and Lilandra are having a moment. They were married, and their marriage is now annulled. And boy, I mean, look, some great figures from the Dave Cockrum era of the X-Men, leaving Professor X in the dust. And he's warning, he's saying that Phoenix has hatched and she is merciless, to be continued. Oh, there's actually a letters column. And here's how I found out they were using this art, which was meant for my Jean Grey miniseries, as the next cover. And the reason why they were doing that is because they were cleaning house of me. So, finish this book. Joe Quesada calls me and just says, "How you feeling?" And I said, "Oh, I'm okay." He said, "Well, listen," he's like, "it's been 14 months. And you have done 6 issues in 14 months. You're supposed to do 6 issues in 12 months, so you're running behind. I can't promote somebody as slow as you. I can't. And, it's hard. We never know what you're going to do and what we can count on you to produce." Basically saying you're unproductive. And I kept my mouth shut. I said, "I understand. Yeah." And he said, "We're thinking about letting you out of your contract." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "That's great." And he seemed flabbergasted. I was like, "That's fine. I have no... fine. Yes, please." And he's like, Okay, we'll send you over the paperwork." And with that, I was released from my contract. Immediately that day, called up Jeff Johns, called up DC, and said, "I'm back. I'm home. I'm coming home." Jeff Johns had already come home. He was writing Hawkman. And he said, "Oh, great." He's like, "Well, they're going to find something for you. Before you do that, you want to do this fill-in on Hawkman?" And I said, "Yeah." And that was Hawkman 13. You can catch the commentary for that. That's available. And... and from there it was Batman, Catwoman, Trail of a Gun, and then Green Lantern Rebirth, and then we never looked back. They did end up using another one of my covers much later on, when Phil Jimenez was the fill-in artist, and they doctored it a little bit, but it wasn't so bad. It was a Zorn cover. He was looking at his helmet, and it was interesting. It was like my time on New X-Men was... Look at this. This kills me here. I don't know how this got on the back of it. You can see her. You can see her stuff. You can pretty much see everything these women have to offer right on the back of a normal Marvel comic. It was terrible. I mean, my time at Marvel Comics was full of bad feelings and stress and trying my hardest to be creative and to be good enough, and never feeling like anyone was showing much interest in what I was doing. I was lied to. However, at least you can say this: Marvel did remove those 2 editors and replace them with a much better one. In Mike Martz, and eventually Mike Martz ended up coming over to DC Comics and editing me over there on some Batman stuff, I believe, and then he started his own company, which he's working at right now, and he was great. Daku asks, "Is Marvel still like the way you're describing it?" I don't know. I haven't been back. I don't know. They did try to get me back in 2010. As I said in another video, they offered me a lot of money to come back just as a signing bonus. And I didn't do it. And, I think, one of the reasons why I didn't do it was because last time it was so unsafe. It was so unsafe there. However, I was considering doing it for that large sum of money. But the fact that my collaborator, who was supposed to be working with me, never called me to talk about our project, seemed to be not interested in me as a creative force. I mean, at this point, guys, it's 2010. It's not 2002 anymore. I've shepherded and created Green Lantern Rebirth, Sinestro Corps War, Flash Rebirth, and designed and created Blackest Night. So I have 4 massive events that I did the visual designs for, and the artwork for most of those, and was expecting to be treated like somebody who could really add something interesting to Marvel Comics, and that wasn't going to happen. So on the other hand, Jeff Johns it was important to him that I stayed at DC. So that was good, and I think they did make up whatever Marvel was going to pay me. I can't remember how that worked, but they did find a really nice way of making sure that I was paid that signing bonus in one way or the other. So now, okay, so that's it. I'm going to look at some questions here. If you guys want to ask me stuff, I will answer them. Okay. If they lied from the start, did not communicate, and then claimed you were too slow, they sure have a lot of nerve. Well, I could have been quicker. I mean, everybody that works there works under those circumstances, so why couldn't I? This wasn't now. This was back then. They were paying a decent wage. With a good writer, I can see a good America book with EVS drawing. Okay, sure. Did you create Larfleas? Yeah, I did. Is Jeff your biggest cheerleader in DC? I think Jeff's cooler than that. I don't think he cheerleads me at all. I think it's just, when he has something he wants to work on me or work with me on, he selects me and we do good stuff together. What characters at Marvel would you like to work on? Ghost Rider and the Hulk. That is why the Image crew left. Yeah, but the difference is I think the Image crew really were being treated much better than someone like I was. The Image crew obviously were making millions of dollars for Marvel Comics. The Image crew left because they just realized, we're getting such a small piece of the pie for what we're doing. Why wouldn't we leave? Why would we stay? These books are selling because of us. Mark Santos. How can an aspiring comic writer find an artist for his first comic book? Mark, you got to be very friendly, and you got to find. You have the internet, so artists are available. There's DeviantArt. There are a lot of people trying to show off their work and break in, and that is the key. By the way, aspiring comic writer finding aspiring comic artist, both of them working for free as they aspire to work in, a bigger arena, working on comic books together. That's got to happen. That's how to break in. Do you and Jeff still talk? Sure. Well, now and then. I mean, look, Jeff Johns is split into a million pieces right now. He's very, very busy. But when I see him, I hug him and we talk. Do you take any steps to combat repetitive stress to drawing hand? Fortunately, I have not suffered that, but I have suffered from leaning my elbows on the table as I draw. It's given me bursitis, and so to deal with that, I wear these spider elbow pads, which have made my life much more comfortable and easy. Is drawing a good career nowadays? Yeah. If you can make it pay, it's wonderful. I mean, it really is. It's you wake up every day, Is it a good career choice? Yeah, find a career in art and drawing that actually is commercial, and that will pay you. I recommend video games, storyboards for movies or comics. You can draw videos already filmed or planned. Colin, what would you like to see? I did a how to draw Batman and I lost it, and I really got to do another one. Maybe I'll do one tonight because I think people like those a lot, so I'm gonna do that. Would you consider going back if they gave you your choice of writer? Why do I have to go back though? I don't see why I would go back to Marvel as long as DC is giving me work and treating me well. Do you feel Marvel's art style has changed in the last few years? No, it's stayed the same. You know, the main guys are still there doing great work. What happened with Convergence? I don't know. You know what? I only drew the 0 issue, and I think they had me come back and do some big 4-page spread with every single character in every universe, and that was painful. That was hard to do. I never read the rest of it, so I don't know what happened. It's interesting how many of the contributors on this new X-Men run work pretty much exclusively at DC now. That's right, Mr. Jackpots. It's true. Have you seen Matt or Trent lately? No, I haven't. I saw Trent maybe 5 years ago. He's doing good. I haven't seen Matt at all. I have no idea what he's doing. If marijuana becomes legal in all the US, will we see it in more DC comics? Interesting question. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they don't show too much smoking now. Well, maybe they do it at DC. They don't really do it at Marvel. I don't know. That's interesting. Do you barbecue? Yes. What Lantern character that you created are you most proud of? I love the Sinestro Corps. I really love Carousel, and I love Crib, and then I love Atrocitus. EVS, I noticed you have that famous artist callus on your finger, the sign of a lot of drawing. Yeah, I mean, there it is. You can see it's even got ink on it right now. I'm always working. Ink on the tip of my finger. So it's like the holy trinity of calluses right here. Thumb, forefinger, middle finger. Do you still enjoy doing interior work? Or would you? No, I'd rather do interiors than covers. Are hot dog sandwiches? Yes, it's meat between bread. Although it's not really 2 slices of bread because it meets in the middle, kind of like a Pac-Man kind of situation. But I think it's a sandwich. I would think so, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else it would be. Do you have a comic read recommendation that is a little more eclectic, less known, that you love? Grant Morrison's Kill Your Boyfriend. I love that book. You make the Rage Cat, Ethan Dexter? No, that was Shane Davis. And it's funny how that happened. Like, Shane Davis had to do Rage of the Red Lanterns, and I'd only had maybe 4 Red Lanterns designed. So he had to take it from there. And Shane doesn't like drawing evil stuff. Like, he complained about it. And he kind of ran out of these satanic ideas. And he has a cat named Dexter, and so he drew his cat as a Red Lantern. Turned out that his, that like kind of sort of half-hearted, you know what I mean, lantern that was just meant for the background became his biggest creation. That's how it works sometimes. That's how it works. It's funny. Stay at DC. I'm gonna stay at DC if I can. As long as they have me there. They could decide they don't want me anymore, and that would be sad. But I love working at DC, and they've been, guys, for real, I'm not saying this because I work there. I work there, and I'm saying this, this is why I work there. They are a really good company, full of really, really good people. And if you could work there, I would recommend it. I would recommend it. I think they're the best company to work for. Do you have inkers you like? No, I always ink myself, doctor. Always. Can you explain anything more about your project with Jordan Peterson? Okay. So we talked, there was one a video that I put up, okay? It was a review of a Batman book, and the Batman book was written by Greg Hurwitz. Greg Hurwitz's wife is a clinical psychologist, and she is the daughter of Robert Blake, okay? The guy who got in a lot of trouble a few years ago. So anyway, that's just an interesting aside. So anyway, because he's an author, he's a novelist, he's married to a clinical psychologist, he knows all of the cool people, all the in psychology, and he knows Dr. Jordan Peterson. So he and Dr. Peterson were talking. Dr. Peterson wrote a book. He had some illustrations attached to it that were basically just photographs of famous artworks. And his publisher said, we can't just publish photographs off the internet of famous artworks. Maybe you should think about hiring an illustrator. And Jordan Peterson, who knew that Greg Hurwitz wrote comics, had to talk with him, and Greg recommended me. Maybe because Greg knows that I'm a Republican, and might admire Jordan Peterson. So I got on the phone with him. I listened to him and listened to what the project was about. My first concern was that the project was political. It's not political at all. So that made me happy, and it just seems like a book that's good advice for people. It's going to help people, and I was happy to do it. Jellyfish Sandwich, thank you for that super chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you mention Hal Jordan 32 will deal with Dawnbreaker? Is Metal going to be impacting other DC titles? So far, it seems separate. Hal Jordan 32 is the conclusion, or it's a continuation, I guess, of the Dawnbreaker story. And I just wrapped it up. And is Metal going to be impacting other DC titles? Yes, all November. I know I did these 4 interlocking Metal covers for 2 issues of JLA. 1 issue of Flash, and then my issue of Green Lantern. It's all Metal, so you should definitely check those out. Definitely. Thoughts on Phil Jimenez? I like Phil. He's a nice guy. He's very. I think sometimes he's sensitive. I mentioned one time that I really liked old Wonder Woman stuff, like Wonder Woman Golden Age stories, and he got upset with me. He said, "What, you like her beating up the Japanese?" And I was like, "No, that's not what I meant." He was really offended by it, and I had to go, "No, I just like this stuff where she's tied up and being spanked." He didn't like that either. But he's a great guy and a really good artist. Really, really good artist. Let's see. I'd like to see you on Mr. Miracle. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, Beretta. That's right. Robert Blake. All right. Doctor says GL is on his pull list for the first time. Great. Thank you. Thank you. My thoughts on Rob Liefeld's artwork, asked Batfan. It's terrible if you're looking at it from the wrong point of view. I always said that Rob Liefeld's artwork was a kind of reaction to the way comics were being done in the 1980s, very stiff and stuffy and formulaic. And Rob Liefeld, to me, was like punk rock. So he came out of the woodwork knowing three chords, but he played them real well. And when he struck a guitar chord, it rocked and people danced. And that's kind of how I think of Rob Liefeld. He's kind of this punk rock, like he's the Ramones of comic artists. Not technically skilled, but with a lot of passion and energy. Yeah. What comics are you reading this week? Alton Davis asks. I'm going to be reading some old stuff. I will be reading, I'm not reading new stuff right now because I just have a big comic rack full of old cool stuff. So I'm going to be reading my copy of X-Men #7 that I just got, and then I'm going to keep reading my Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis adventures from the 1950s. I love that series. It's great. EVS is 80s hair metal then, by extension. No, I'm new wave. I'd be like New Order or Depeche Mode. EVS, did you ever discuss what motivated you to start this YouTube channel for direct interaction? Yeah, I was watching other people do it, and I was envious of it. here's the thing, like, I don't get to travel very much anymore because I have a kid. I have a new baby at home. So I miss talking to fans, and it hasn't been. It's felt a little lonely not getting out to travel, meeting fans, signing my comics, and then I'm watching these other YouTubers with their channels, and they're like blowing up, and it's a direct connection to your readers, and it seems like you guys want this, which I didn't know. Like, I was like, you want to do this? Okay. And two, like, I've come to realize that what it's all about is selling books, because these comics, I mean, you can say they sell themselves. There's a lot out there. I'd like to be able to promote and sell my own work, right? To you guys, I'd like to talk to you about it, give you info about it. I enjoy it. I'm enjoying this channel. I've made like $200 so far too. So that's good. That's like groceries. That's like diapers. Arthur Chen, Erica Henderson is plastic people of the universe. Oh, Arthur Chen's saying that. Oh, wait, no. Alright, I read that wrong. The fans suck. Do it for the EVS, you need a name for your subs. Yeah, like Comics Explain has the Rob Corps. I should think about that. Here's the thing. Yeah, seriously, look, I mean, this guy's EVS, buy my book, The Critic Voice. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you guys. I'm saying buy my books, please. And I don't know a better way to do it. You know, in the 90s, we had Wizard Magazine, we had trade publications. I'm going to do a whole video about this. And they're dead now. Okay, so nobody reads magazines. Even sites like Newsarama and Comic Book Resources are dead. What's going on now, as far as I can tell, is YouTube. It's like, so if I want to directly talk to you guys, I can do it this way. And by the way, I mean, some of these bigger YouTubers, they've taken the place of Wizard Magazine and Newsarama. They are the people who are influencing the fans. They're the people who are exciting the fans about what's coming out. They are promotional machines, except they're honest and unbiased and non-corrupt. So they're not like Wizard. It's great. I mean, this is the future, and I feel like I'm the only one in comics who sees it. The only one who sees that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, Toby says, after the first time, why did you consider going back to Marvel? We'll talk about that. Let me see what... Oh, you know what we'll do? We'll talk about that when I'll do a video commentary on the New 52 and my crack at Firestorm with Gail Simone. And by the way, I'm going to open up about that nonsense. You're going to hear a lot of crazy stuff that I don't care anymore. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it aloud. But yeah, you'll understand maybe why I was considering going to Marvel. It should be fun to talk about. Is Gail Simone cool in real life? I guess so, sure, yeah. Gail Simone cares about her fans a great deal. She's really, really good at nurturing her fan base and supporting her fan base. She's really, really good at that, and she takes care to do it. Yeah. We've tried to do 3 things together. Here's the thing. We tried to do 3 things together. Only one of them came out right. Gail or Fabian? Fabian. You go to Marvel and Erica. What's Erica? What is all this Erica stuff? You guys have like a mat on for Erica Henderson. Yeah. Well, look, time goes by. You need to explain things. You know, when you're in the middle of a comic book project that people are anticipating, and it doesn't go right, and there's no, you're left with fans going, what happened? What was that? Well, to some degree, you can talk about it and let people know. That's right, they were nice people. Yeah, no, I know who Erica Henderson is. I know who she is because you guys, like, everybody's telling me about her. I wouldn't know anything about her. Like, I live in this little world of, you know, Green Lantern and DC Comics. I don't know what Marvel's doing. And I've become aware of who Erica Henderson is and her work. And I keep hearing it's terrible, and then people show me examples of it, and I go, it's good. What do you mean? It's like, it's not the way I draw, but, you know, it's pretty good. Oh, you guys, you got to be nice. Artists are, you know, look, you can't be mean to artists. A Squirrel Girl. I'd take a stab at Squirrel Girl. Do a pin up. Just drawing a lot damage your eyes. Yeah, I'm wearing glasses now. I don't know if it's because of drawing. I think it's because I'm 43 years old. And my eyes have been pretty good my whole life. It's about time that I needed glasses or something. All right, let's see. So we're coming up on an hour, guys. I mean, I've been good at this. I've been doing, you know, doing these live chats for the past few days. I hope you guys appreciate it. Yeah, this was the last episode of Marvel. Obviously, we're not going to go back and revisit this, but I think the reviews were good, and I was fond of this issue. This was great seeing this book again. You know, you know, you guys, I'm really grateful to have you. My subscriber jump. I've been doing this now for 8 days. Let me see. I think I have 3,700 followers or subscribers right now. I wasn't expecting that. I was hoping, I was like, I'm going to get to 1,000, and that's going to be pretty good. I'll be happy with that. And no, I'm at 3,751 subscribers right now. And I don't know what to say. I'm really, like, that blows my mind. That makes me very, very happy. Yeah, I owe it all to you guys. Yeah, you know, thank you. My admiration for Jean is infectious. Yeah, I had all these statues of her too. The Van Scribers. That'll just confuse everybody, and they'll just start calling me Ethan Van Scriber, and people have enough trouble pronouncing my last name. Here's the thing. It's Van Sciver. That's my last name. It's 2 words. It's not just Sciver. It's Van Sciver. So my middle name is actually Daniel. So it's Ethan Daniel Van Sciver. Yeah. Van Skydiver. Or you could call me Van Driver. If I had a van, I'd be Ethan Van Driver. That'd be cool too. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to let you all go. I've held you up for too long. Way too long. The Minivan Mafia. I like that, too. The Minivan Mafia is pretty cool. You can call yourselves that if you want. All right, guys. I'm going to do a how-to video, and then I got to get back to... You guys want to take a peek at the Jordan Peterson book? Yeah, I'll show you real quick. I have to draw the Pieta. So, it's like, let me see here, trying to arrange the camera. Super, super fine detail here. You know, I'm illustrating these books, or this book in such a way, it's like he wanted these works of art, and my idea for him was to soften up his book. I would have his children, because the idea is he's going to instruct you about life through art, okay? Like using art as a metaphor for his advice for you. So I said, you know what? Like, he has 2 kids. I was like, send me pictures of your kids, and I'm gonna de-age them a little bit. I'll make them younger, and I'm going to have them walk through this big imaginary museum that houses all these great works of art, and be exposed to them as though you are teaching them. So they're the beneficiaries of your wisdom, and at the end of the day, it makes the book, it lightens the book up a little bit. It makes it cuter. And he's thrilled. His whole family is thrilled with these drawings. So I hope you guys enjoy them. I think the book comes out in January. Please go to Amazon and pre-order it. And, you know, look, I'll get to autograph Dr. Jordan Peterson's book. Isn't that crazy? It's an honor. Yeah, I think he is a good man. All right, guys, you have a great night, and I'll talk to you again soon. Okay? Bye-bye.